So in the last video, obviously we copied a graphic from the web out of Google Images, pasted it into Photoshop, and then went to Image Mode and converted it to CMYK color, and then did a file, Save As, and saved it as a TIFF file in my book covers folder, which is what I recommend you should do. Now, if you find more images, just repeat that same process until you get all the images that you wish to put in, or it's always better to have more than you need, just in case. That said, I'm going to go back now to InDesign. And here's our file from before. And I'm on page 1. Notice that when I set up the document, I created page 1 and page 2. And time to put a graphic in here. But first and foremost, what I'm going to do is go to File, Place, and I'm going to go navigate into my book covers folder. And there's my Pick 01 TIFF that I saved out of Photoshop. So I pulled it from the web, converted it to a CMYK TIFF file, and I'm going to double click. And there's the load gun, and you can see the little thumbnail of the graphic, and I'm just going to kind of come over here on the bleed and draw from bleed to bleed, from side to side, from this red line to the other, let go of the image, and there it is. Now, it may not look the best, so I'm going to go to View on the menu bar, go to Display Performance, and set up for High Quality Display. So you can kind of see that it does change that up quite a bit. It looks a lot better. Now I'm just going to create a simple book cover design for this exercise so you can kind of gauge how it works. So now that I have the image in, I can also, let's say if I wanted to scale this, remember there are two things. There's the frame or the box and the content in the box that you can access by clicking this little donut. So I'm going to actually make the frame a little bit larger, make the picture a little bit bigger. Notice the picture does not fill the entire frame, but I'm going to click on the donut, and now I've actually had the image selected. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to enlarge the image so it fills up the space a little bit more, and there we go. So remember, there's the picture in the box, and you can see this little brown line. That's actually showing you the actual size of the graphic as opposed to the frame that it's in. With that, I'm now going to just draw a basic box, and I'm going to fill from frame to frame here in terms of the bleed. And I am going to take the stroke off. I don't want to stroke around that. I'm going to go to the fill color. Now, I'm going to use a little technique that I think is pretty cool. I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool over here, which might be buried underneath of what's called the theme color tool. You have to hold the mouse down over the little arrow and select that. What I can do is I'm going to sample a color from this image, and I kind of like these oranges here, so I'm going to pick this color, and I actually get it sampled a red color, which is fine. Notice it fills up the entire background, covering the picture. Well, that's because now this box is sitting on top of the graphic. So if I go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back, this is what I have so far. Now, if you want to turn off all the grids and guides and actually see what your work will look like, say, in its final printed format, one of the things I like to do is go to this little screen mode here, which is, you can turn this off. This is normal. Or if you go to Preview, you can see what it would look like without all the grids and guides. Sometimes it's easier to work with that off so you can actually see what it's going to look like. But so far, so good. We've got a neat little display and background, and all I've done was dropped in one image and a rectangle that I use as a background color. In the next lesson, I'm going to continue by putting text on here and maybe applying an effect, and then add a few other little odds and ends.